This series is based on my book, Michael Jackson and Classical Music. You can also find Anthony King's Guide to Michael Jackson's Dangerous Tour, as well as Anthony King's Guide to Michael Jackson's History Tour. They're all available on paperback and Amazon Kindle, and you can find out more on my website, anthony-king.com. Why isn't Michael Jackson more known for his proliferation of classical music and the arts? I think I have a compelling answer to this question. On the 27th of June 1999, I stood about 10 meters south of Michael Jackson in the Olympic Stadium, Munich. Michael was introducing Andrea Bocelli and a selection of his classical performer friends, including Bocelli, Vanessa Mae, and André Rieu. I was in Munich to help Michael promote the show and had, on the previous day, performed at the Bayern 3 stage at the Bayerischerhof Hotel to about 4,000 Jackson fans to whip them up for Jackson's choreographed arrival. It was pure pandemonium. I returned to the Olympic Stadium on the 24th of March 2018 and stood again 10 meters from where Jackson had stood. I spent most of the day filming in the stadium and I reminisced about that day 19 years earlier. Jackson's presence overwhelmed that stadium and the 70,000 spectators inside it. In between Michael's performance of Dangerous and Earth Song, Michael played an excerpt of Beethoven's Ode to Joy. It was edited out of nearly all subsequent broadcasts of the show. In fact, the classical performers of the show were also edited out on the most part of all subsequent broadcasts. It's apparent that the producers wanted Jackson's hits and not the classical music. Michael was introducing and being performed on his stage. They wanted the Billie Jean, Earth Song and Black or White parts of the show, but not the Beethoven or even the Pavarotti operatic introduction for the show. They wanted what they wanted, Michael Jackson, and so did the fans, and that is totally understandable. Michael's presence completely overwhelmed all in his presence, and I witnessed this happen many times. Context is key. Michael Jackson is most known for his songs, his moves, the glove, the Thriller dance, the moonwalk, and that's where people expect to see him. Subsequently, they don't really notice sometimes when he incorporates the work of Mondrian, Da Vinci, and Michelangelo into his tours, which he did, or constantly used, promoted and incorporated the works of the most respected classical composers as well as contemporary classical composers all the time. It's a pity, and I'm hoping to change that with this book and video series. Washington Post experiment. In 2007, the Washington Post asked musical director of the National Symphony Orchestra, Leonard Slatkin, what did he think would occur, hypothetically, if one of the world's greatest violinists had performed incognito before a travelling rush hour audience of 1,000 or more people? Columnist Gene Weingarten had already initiated the experiment with the great Joshua Bell, who is one of the world's greatest violinists who sells out concert halls around the world. On the 12th of January 2007, he played incognito at a metro station in Washington, D.C., with the experience being filmed secretly. Out of 1,097 people that passed by, only 7 stopped to listen. He collected a total of $32, much less than Leonard Slatkin had predicted. Joshua Bell is gracious of the experiment to this day and is now, in addition to being one of the world's most famous and talented violinists, the musical director of the Academy St. Martin in the Fields. 3 days before that particular performance, he had performed for a more receptive salon audience, like he was accustomed to, but the experiment served to demonstrate a valid point. Context is key. People on the whole don't appreciate what they don't expect, and I would probably argue. With all that said, let's now take a closer look at Michael Jackson and his use of classical music throughout his albums, shows and works, specifically Beethoven. All coming up in our next video. See you then.